boy, stop me if you've heard this one before, my friend. Today we're talking about the New York Rangers, and we're talking about a player in their prospect system that might be not reporting to camp. Okay, let's go over onto The Athletic, because what Arthur Staple did was he wrote about in his Rangers notebook the Nils Lundkvist complicated situation, Jimmy Vesey's comeback, and a PTO for defensive depth. Link will be in the description if you want to go ahead and read this article, but because it's on The Athletic, we're not going to go ahead and screenshot from this piece. Instead, we are going over onto Spectre's Hockey from September 9th, so yesterday, and reading the Lyle Richardson summary that he provides on the Athletic piece by Arthur Staple. By the way, Staple's article was published on the 7th, I believe, so earlier this week as well. But pretty much, we're talking about today Nils Lundkvist, a Rangers prospect who was drafted by the team in the first round of the 2018 draft. He's 22 years old, 5'10", as a right-handed defenseman, and he has been seen by many people, myself included, as a pretty legit top 4 power play quarterbacking right-handed defenseman prospect. He had 31 points in 45 games in 2019-20 with Luleå in the SHL, and 32 points in 52 games with the same team in 2021. This previous year, though, he had split the load between the New York Rangers and the Hartford Wolfpack, getting only 4 points in 25 games in the NHL, but hey, I mean, the guy's a rookie, so it doesn't really matter, it's okay. He had 15 points as well in the AHL in the 34-game sample that he had. As a 22-year-old guy, though, Lundkvist is in a position where a lot of people, still, myself included, would say that he's got room to grow. He could become a better player at the NHL level. He could potentially fill out that ceiling of his, becoming a 30 to 40-point defenseman for the Rangers, suiting up for the second power play unit on the right side behind Adam Fox. He could be good. But, unfortunately, we have ourselves an update saying that the Rangers are trying to trade this guy. Why? Here's why. Here's the update on the Rangers' efforts on trading Lundkvist. Arthur Staple reported the source claims there's an 80% chance that Nils Lundkvist won't report to Rangers training camp on September 21st. The 22-year-old defenseman is unhappy with his chances of cracking the Rangers' top 6 defense, and he is currently being shopped by New York. Now, before we proceed, is there anybody else feeling any deja vu? Because when you talk about a guy who is a fairly young player in the Ranger system, he's property of New York, and that actually sounds really bad when I say it like that, but you know what I mean. He's not really a prospect, he played a lot of games already, so he's not really there, but when it comes to a younger-ish Rangers player not reporting to camp, who is unhappy with his opportunity and the way that he's been used by the team, this is a story that we have seen before. Let's continue on to the Spectre's Hockey assessment here. Lundkvist could remain in Sweden to continue his training, if not moved by the time the Rangers open training camp. Staple believes there's a spot waiting for him with the SHL's club in Luleå, for whom the Blue Liner played for 3 seasons before joining the Rangers last year. Oh man, even more deja vu's coming out here. Not only is a young Rangers player potentially not going to join the team, but instead he might actually stick around in his hometown country and continue his career with the team that he had been with in the past before joining New York. This is exactly the same as the Vitali Kravtsov situation. Bar none, it's cut and paste. What the hell is going on here in New York? 2 sources have told Arthur Staple that the Rangers have received an offer of a second-round pick in the 2023 draft. However, it's believed that manager Chris Drury is seeking a young player in return for Lundkvist instead. Vitali Kravtsov is the comparable here. And the reason we're talking about it in this way is because we've made so many videos throughout the past few years going over Kravtsov and his entire trade saga, because he's exhibited a pretty similar path. Drafted by the Rangers back in 2018, he was a top 10 pick, by the way. He was taken 9th overall. He had spent the next season with Tractor Chelyabinsk in the KHL before heading over to the Hartford Wolfpack and eventually dropping out of that system. He had then spent more years up and down in the KHL and the NHL, whatever, but things got wild a year ago in October of 2021 when Vitali Kravtsov refused his assignment to the AHL. Now, the Kravtsov situation worked itself out eventually. He was loaned out to Tractor Chelyabinsk once again. He played there, had 13 points in 16 games. He had 10 points in 15 games in the postseason, and now he's actually slated to potentially being a Ranger. That hasn't dissuaded him from being included in trade talks. We talked about Kravtsov and Lundkvist as potential Montreal Canadiens targets a few days ago, but Kravtsov had this weird situation of being tossed around up and down, not reporting to the AHL, and then getting sent back over to his hometown team in Russia before coming back to New York in 22-23. Lundkvist is going through the same process pretty much, except he's had a few more years of development before making his North American debut this previous year. So now, just reviewing everything that Lundkvist has gone through and seeing how he's actually kind of upset that the Rangers' decor is assembled the way it is and he doesn't really feel like he might be able to crack that long term, I mean, the deja vu reigns hard because Vitali Kravtsov had all these issues about deployment and being buried in the lineup and Cheadle and Kakko and all these other guys being placed above him, and now it's the same story. What the hell's going on in New York, man? Are you guys just really that good that all of a sudden your prospects are not really wanting to play for you because there's no room for them? I don't know if it's a good problem or a bad problem to have. You can let me know in the comment section below if this is really like a Rangers lineup thing, or is it just the thing with the prospects themselves? You happen to get a few bad apples here and there, but like, at the end of the day, how many bad apples does it take to go out there and say maybe there's something wrong with the organization? Because Lias Andersson, from a few years ago, had a pretty similar situation. Like, 2017, Lias Andersson was taken there in the top 10. 2018, you had Kravtsov and Lundkvist taken both in the first round. What the hell is going on with the Rangers and these guys that they end up taking? It's been 3 straight first-round picks in a row. Lundkvist, Kravtsov, and Lias Andersson. I guess you could say K'Andre Miller is thrown in there too, but he didn't really have any problems, so I'm not really going to include him. And there have been these deployment issues, going back to their home countries, not wanting to report, stuff like that. How the heck does this keep on happening to New York in particular? Like, it blows my mind that that's the status quo of how things are right now with Nils Lundkvist, and, I mean, I guess Kravtsov has some chance to redeem himself next season, and I hope he does. Like, hope to goodness gracious, Kravtsov is everything the Rangers and the fans have wanted him to be and more, but it's been really weird. Deja vu, eh? Talk in the comments your thoughts about the 3 prospects, I guess, that we talked about here in this video. Lias Andersson from 2017, who is no longer with the Rangers, by the way. Vitali Kravtsov from 2018, and then Lundkvist as well from 2018, and the trade update that we have seen out of this guy too. How the Rangers are apparently looking for a younger prospect for this guy. They had some offers for second-round picks, but they just said no, and how Lundkvist himself has an 80% chance of not reporting the Rangers camp and probably just sticking around at home and playing in Luleå for next season in the SHL should he not actually find himself a new NHL home. Does this surprise you? Are you kind of as shocked as I am to see this happen with 3 straight guys? Like, 3 guys in a row, similar pattern. What in the world is going on? I know these guys were drafted with Jeff Gordon, and Drury was there, but it wasn't the main guy like he is today, so things are kind of different now. But what the hell? Talk in the comments your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.